Whoa, how y'all doing? It's good to see you. Well, I can't really see you, but it's me, Zen. It's you, and you're over there. Uh, what's up? A couple questions, a couple ideas, and it's concerning the state of people's minds and how they. Let's just start with this. When the media tells you, and they put out they did a poll on something. First of all, you know it's going to be skewed in one direction or other, and it's the media putting it out anyways. So what can you really trust there? But there was a poll on how trustworthy, how much people trusted the media, and you can see it on the front of my before you clicked on here, and the amount of people that it says complete trust and a lot of trust, and then it had three other categories were like not at all and blah blah blah. But the two that were like total trust and quite a bit of trust, what accompanied about 38%, I think, almost 40%. So 4 out of 10 people are brain dead lunatics, fools. There's not really another. There's not a lot of ways to explain. I mean, what else would you call these people? To literally trust anything on the news? How? Who told you that? Who told you that's a good idea? That person is a fool. Let me ask you a question. Are people offended if I called someone a statist or a fascist? Would you be offended if they were? Would they be offended? But they'd be like, no, I'm a fascist. I'm a statist. I mean, because that is the point of saying that. It should be, I mean, as, you know, if you call someone a racist, they'd be like, oh, I take offense to that. Like, if you called someone a fascist or a statist, that you should probably take offense to that. Well, maybe you shouldn't take offense to that if you are. I don't know. You know, if you're a racist and you're proud of it, if you're a fascist or a statist and proud of it, cool. But I wonder. And somewhere in there is like to not understand that listening to the media is really some low level thinking. It's not even thinking, and it's, you know, just sucking on the teat, having a straw, drinking the milk, the slurry of stupid. The people that, who do you think runs that? I mean, how do people not get this? Literally, it's so mind blowing that you walk down the street and you're surrounded by people. Almost half of the people are so incapable of doing any thinking for themselves at all. Then they need to be told by the media. The people that are not there for their own good. And we can prove this 1,000 ways. Because, well, I mean, start with, do you think the government was put there for your help and protection? No. I mean, okay, let's just step away from that for a second. Do you think the corporations are there for your help and benefit? You can't believe that. And let's talk about pharmaceuticals and what they call healthcare. No, they're sickness care facilities. They're not there for your health. They're not there to help you. In minor ways, they're there to help you. But, and as an overall thing, you're a customer. You're a client. They're not there to fix you. The people that are selling you a product, they don't want to sell you one thing, never to sell you something again. What do you think Apple does? Why do you think you buy you dummies with your Apple phones? You're gonna buy a new one next year, and the next year after that, and get the, you know, like, spend another, I mean, another dose of your heroin, crackheads. So, what is what we're dealing with? This whole thing that's going on, what we're dealing with is essentially who we need to understand what's going on is going to have the hardest time understanding it. Let me dive deeper into this concept. The people that you need to understand what's going on in the world with the manipulation and the utter bullshittery, the total lies and bullshit that's happening everywhere all the time. The people that you need to get to know that are the ones that have the least amount of time to understand that, or they don't see how it would benefit their lives to understand it. Some of those people, most of those people, are going to be the people that own businesses. They need to really understand, but they're too busy running a business. They're too busy enjoy, But now maybe they're starting to, maybe they have some time with not running the business. But then again, they're all in fear they're not making any money now because things are going haywire, sideways, whatever. So they're freaking out. They don't have time to look at what's going on and why they should just not close their business because of some silly mandate. Those are that's a big part of it is the economy of any company, country, nation, whatever. The economy is incredibly important, intrinsic into it's weaved into so many other aspects of things that are going on. I mean, obviously, health, well-being, people being entertained, not being poor, having to go rob and pillage. You know what I mean? People not that people are a little more easy when they have enough to take care of themselves. They probably have less stresses. All these go into how healthy an economy is. And to destroy an economy is destroying so many other things. But the people that need to understand this, the people that are enforcing it, are the least likely to understand it. Okay, who needs to understand this? People work in policy, police, people that work in all of the army. Literally the reason these people get hired. This is not a clown on anyone, but the least amongst the least intelligent people go into the army. They're not out there hiring first in their class graduates. They're not doing that. So these people are always lower IQ, and their job is regular. Is one specific thing. They're not out there studying. Like, this is not a general part of what, and they need to understand what's going on, and what they're enforcing is not true. And what they're doing is they're literally, enabling the people that hate us and them, like enabling them to just, I mean, if people aren't getting, we're 2 years into this nonsense, and it's so crazy. The more you try to explain this to people, how do they not get it? Where are all the? Remember at the beginning? Oh, we see on the TV all the people falling over in China or wherever, just falling out. Is that happening? No, it's happening on sports fields now. When is that happening? Oh, 2 years in after people started doing what? Started stabbing everybody. Oh, what's going on now? People can't. They're not even putting it together. They don't even know how to use these words. They don't even know what the word. The pandemonium that's happening. That word, that P word. That one. It couldn't be that. It already be done and over with. The population of the Earth would be in half right now, and it's not. What happened? By the way, what happened to the flu? I mean, this is so beyond retarded that, and you can't even explain it. You can't even have a reasonable conversation with people about how obvious and absurdly in their face this whole entire. It's just the game is right there, and they're now it's just they're laughing, and it's like I almost want to join that team and just laugh at these people too, and just take their money and just clean up, because we're out here, and the thing is that really just fucking irks my soul is that, like, whenever we're out here trying to tell people like what's going on, they get mad at us. Like, we're trying to help you. We're not trying to poison you and steal your money, and they're like, oh, you want grandma to die, and you hate this, and and you're not about to say you're so dumb. Like, they buy in that rhetoric, and they were like, no, I wish that thing worked. I wish that was I wish what you're saying was the truth, but it's not. You're actually siding with the bullshit. And I'm saying, here, why would I want to argue with people about this? Why would I want to? I don't want to. Shit. If I knew some real deal, the air was poisoned with poopy particles, I would love to rock a mask out so I wasn't sniffing poo poo all day. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be fine. But wait, my point is to be out here telling people untruths so that they can yell at me. That's what I want. I want to, and every 1 out of 1,000 people will be like, oh, you know what that is? That's interesting. I've never thought of that. No, what I'd like to do is I want to go out and just continually talk to people that think I'm a fucking fool and I'm the moron and that I'm trying to harm people. When in fact, I'm out here, haven't been, I don't know the last time I've been sick. You're a fool. You drink piss. Okay, I'm a fool. I'm also not sick. You drink clean distilled water. What a fool. You got to put dirt in there. Yeah. It's like what? Why? What good is there for the people that are on the side of the truth? You know what I mean? The people that are out there really fighting for the truth warriors. Whatever. What's the point? People don't care. People aren't gonna listen to you. So, I again just to reiterate this point, that healthcare and sickness care are two different things, and because everything's backwards, you have to know that everything you're looking at is sickness care. Everything that you're looking at is business. It's about leveraging energy, power, time, money. It has nothing to do with your best interest. And people want to claim it does. That we're out here bullshitting because we want to. There's all of these doctors and scientists that are literally losing their jobs because they are going against pop scientism. They just handed it because they know what it is. They know the scam. How many doctors and there's doctors and scientists, thousands and thousands of them. They know what's going on. Yet they don't get the light of day. They don't get on any. Why? How do you think people get onto these news media, these giant networks? You get a few minutes to talk, and you got to pass a few qualifiers to even step on foot on there. You think they're just taking anybody on there? Somebody with a different opinion, and you think they're not even controlling the narrative? How clueless are people? What narrative are you going to get from these? Oh yeah, Fox is out here. Does anybody remember 10 years ago? Fox was the worst news channel, right? To everybody. Why? Because Fox is 666. You know this, right? It was the devil. It was the worst ever. And the other side was the moderately fair and balanced, and all this, right? And now, Fox is the Carson Tuckerson or Carson, whatever that guy's name is, Tucker, fucking Tucker. He is. I remember listening years ago, going, "What a goofy dipshit." And now I go, "Is he the only one talking reasonable right now?" Fox is somehow like saying reasonable things. This is crazy. But that's what people don't get is. You think that corporation is not connected to CNN and the larger conglomerates of and corporations that are paying the bills, meaning the manufacturers of drugs and cars and tires and robotics and whatever. You don't think those things have a major influx, like a I don't know, they don't hold weight in what's being said? I mean, who do you think? It doesn't matter what you think the corporation stands for. It matters who's paying the bills, and people don't want to accept that. People don't. It's goofy world. What's up, Terrible? What's up, Will Brooks? Yeah, pandering to pan-headed pantomime players. Very bad, yeah. Burp. Yeah, Will Brooks. Yeah, it's and they don't even see it. They can't even see it, and it's literally costing them far more than they know. I mean, the people on this side of the narrative, if there is one, I don't really consider it a side. I don't really. It's just what it is. It's not. I'm not Not like, oh, this versus that. I'm just like, well, that's just not it. But people that that have our a view, um, we knew that, oh well, these people are definitely not going to be in our social circles anymore. These people won't fuck with us anymore. But the thing is, they're losing more than that in their social circles. They're like literally losing life, like they're losing and but they're so blind to it, they will not accept that it's from the thing. They won't accept that has anything to do with it, because I mean, what part of it, like, you don't want to feel responsible. Like, if you, like, oh, in hindsight, if you would have known, you should have listened. You don't want to hear that. You should have listened. You know how guilty you'd feel. That you literally, like, encouraged and no, you have now you have to stand by. No, it couldn't be that. No way. No, your pride, your ego, you're like, literally, you would probably, you would go into the, oh my God, how was I so stupid? Why didn't I pay attention? That caused everyone that I know to literally, you know what I mean? That I encourage that kind of bullshit. And now they're all sitting there in hospitals, and like, how was I so dumb? That's what people would have to deal with. And the reality is, that's most people are gonna have to be like, how were you so? Well, you know what? It's not entirely your fault. You were trained that way. The move is to unprogram, deprogram, remove the programs that were installed in you, just like on your computers and your phones and everything else. Get rid of those and install new ones, because you were programmed from early in life. And if you think the school system, people that just love teachers, oh, be a teacher, be a doctor. No, these are not the best people amongst us. I mean, the people themselves are just fine, but they're working for institutions that are not encouraging people to be intelligent, uh, healthy, happy. None of this. No, everything that they do is to make everyone less happy, less intelligent. The school system is not. Oh, you got to socialize your children. You can't homeschool them, or they'll be dorky, nerdy kids who weren't socialized. That's not true. I've known plenty of homeschooled kids that do plenty of outside activities. They're not just sitting there in a unhealthy environment with kids that they don't even interact with them all day. When do you really socialize? In the hallway with the same select group of people? I mean, the moronic belief that there's more socialization in a school setting than there is in a play setting, or just in that's idiotic. It doesn't happen. A school setting, if you did the math on it, how much socializing you're doing is bare minimum. You're sitting in class and sit down, shut the fuck up. You're interacting one-on-one with a piece of paper and a teacher. You're not making any friendships there. Those ones are what happens outside of the classroom, or maybe you might get on a sports team. You can still do that homeschool too. So, point is, these institutions are not there for your benefit. There are some that their goal is, and here's how you can find out: are they not for profit or non-profits? Then you're probably in a better category. While they might not be the best, at least you can tell that they might actually care more about what they're presenting and less about the finances. Usually. Oh man, hey Terry, there you go. Seemingly intelligent people skirting around most important issues for the sake of being politically incorrect. Yeah, because they don't want, and because the biggest one, you be in your social groups, and you'll be outcast. You'll lose all your what do they call it? Like your political, social leverage. How much they can't. It takes too much. You'd have to literally once you start doing that, they go, oh, then it negates everything else that you've said to those people. So you just want to maintain face with a bunch of idiots that aren't gonna. Why would you? What would be the point? Why would anybody want to, like? Yeah, well, you know, they're not gonna. If they're not gonna listen to you when you're actually they'll listen to you about everything else. But then as soon as you say something they don't, that is, ooh, that's, you're gonna become ostracized. Why? Well, why would you care? I don't get it. Fuck them. They're not gonna listen. That's their loss. You know. Yeah, it's even in not now with this it in developing relationships, it's quite humorous because you can barely. I mean, it's kind of nice in the sense that if I see somebody that has a poopy diaper on their head, and they're in a field walking around, I know 100% that person I will never get along with. That is not my people. They're not from here. That person is brain dead. It says right away, hi, I'm brain dead and I probably have a mental disorder. And it would save you from having to interact with that person. To find out after a few dates or whatever, like you know, even with other, you know, say even friends, you get to the point where you're hanging out with them for a little while and you're like, I don't really like this person. But you're already kind of in that relationship, and it's hard to, especially with friend groups. You know, you hang out with somebody a few times, and then you're kind of in there, and you're like, I really don't like this person. You get saved from that. But and the other part is like, okay, you're gonna be around people in places where they're like enforcing it, like how hard they're enforcing. If you're in a grocery store and they're like that at the store, you'll see the difference. Then you might actually walk past somebody that is on your level. But yeah, anyways, I do try to look towards the positives of it. But surely, I have not developed much of any relationships over the past 2 years. I wonder why, in any way, shape, or form. Because they seem pointless. It's either I'm speaking to somebody who already gets it, cool, great, or this person they have a bag of rocks in their head. Oh, you see this chick in the EU? She's the president of some shit. I don't know. She's like super hot dog stuff. Who basically said, it's just the Nuremberg Code. We're just gonna forget about that. Just toss that right out the window. I thought that was pretty funny. Because aren't they against, like, you can't really, you know, do procedures on humans. It's kind of like, I mean, it's bad enough that we do it to animals, but let's just stop there, okay? Let's just not do it to other humans. We can pretty much agree. I don't think we do that. And she was like, I think we should reconsider. How does a person like that walk around? How isn't she subject to what she, like? Okay, fine. Let's start with you. Strap her in. Let's go. You know, how do these people? How do they get to open their stupid fucking traps and talk all that? How does that exist? I mean, do they just go from their? Do they just so isolated from anything of reality? They don't realize how disgusting they are and how hated they are. Do they know this? They just get in their car and then they go to their inside thing and they're in a place where everybody's like them and they'll congratulate them and, you know, circle jerk each other. They have no clue. The outside world finds them to be abhorrent at best, disgusting, treacherous. All of the words that are bad. They how do people like that exist? That like we're out here going, how does someone like that exist? And there's quite a number of them now, huh? Well, Terry, I don't know about that. There's a lot of people, start with the birth certificate. There was already the classification there where you were dead, right? We got that. Then we got you claimed as product birth certificate. So you got the Magna Carta. Then you got the everyone lost at sea. You got that, and then you got birth certificates and a product, and then you got once you are, if you are given the magic potion, that because it's it's something of their product. It's here's how they put it. They compared it to. Do you remember? Um, Maybe 15 years back, when Monsanto was, they had like fields next to farmers, and some of their stuff was blowing over onto the farmer's property, and they were claiming, well, you know, that the farmer they like took over their land. It was like because that was their product on there, and it was like they were doing it on purpose. That all of their shit would go. So it was killing their heirloom product, and it was becoming their, because that's how they did it. They want seedless everything, right? So whenever you take the magic potion, there's something of theirs inside of your. It's rewriting your code, your DNA, your RNA, whatever it says. I don't remember exactly what it says, but basically, because it's modifying that, you become product of them. Now, how true that is, and to what degree? Because again, how many people? What they don't realize is a lot of people didn't get the actual thing, and they were getting a saline solution. How many people were getting, because they had to have, you couldn't give it to everybody because it's still in trial phase. You know what I mean? Still is, right? It's still, so they were basically giving people, they had to have a control group. So people that thought they got it really didn't. So when people go, I was fine. Yeah, well, there's a good possibility. I don't know what the numbers are. What's up, Afro Man? Yeah. So, hey, it's Sunday. Woohoo! Footballs, beers, and footballs, huh? Anybody want to buy me a beer? I will happily accept it. CashApp, PayPal, Venmo. It's in the box beneath. It's TSAR, capital XEN. And I appreciate that. Beers and money to keep this roof over my head and this phone on. And it is the holidays, so you're allowed to feel giving. Yeah. And I really haven't watched any football this year. I tried to go to the Saints game. I got a free ticket the other day, and that got all jammed up. Although I did get to go to VIP rooftop bar, which was awesome. So I did all that, but then the ticket got screwed up, so I was not unable to get into the game. Although I didn't really. It kind of worked out because I didn't really have the cash to be spending on beers in the game. So, football. Go sports balls. I think I'm going to go out and watch some music today. That sounds about right. Thank you, man. I appreciate that very, very much, man. Seriously. I've been broke as fuck for this last, I got literally every day. I'm just like, all right, I gotta scrape. I'll do a show. Hopefully, people help out. Like I haven't been in the super black for quite a while. Especially my phone just broke, so that was a whole thing, and I had to buy a bunch of I just had to do some shit that I was not expecting the cost to come up, and these things happen. What are you gonna do? I just try to maintain that, Don't get too excited and don't get too upset with things. Don't be on that. Enjoy the ebbs and flows. You get to enjoy the. You can enjoy the. Enjoy the dip, because okay, it's going up somewhere soon. It's gonna, as you're just sitting there dragging on the bottom of the ocean, like, don't worry, it goes up eventually. And then it goes down further. What the hell? It's supposed to go that way. Yeah, this whole thing. When is everybody planning on, the whole? When does the whole thing? Because been saying for years now. It was like, oh, 2020, perfect vision. Da, 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 da. When is this thing like happen, pop off, where humanity gets what's going on, and somehow we get rid of these, lecherous cunts that are running these giant conglomerates, and these, we learn what business is and how to run it properly, and stop, being illegally taxed through, inflation, income taxes, and it's all extortion. I mean, when are we going to learn to get rid of all that? When can we get rid of these, these idiots, and stop holding these people as some sort of idols? When are we going to do that? I thought that was supposed to be happening. When are we going to? When are we going to stop being fascinated by the least among us and think they're somehow intelligent when they're not? Where's this grand awakening? What's happening here? I'm awake over here. Waka waka waka. Wakey wakey. Because it's kind of it's pretty lame at this point. Like, it's pretty much like, just like, what in the fuck? I got on the bus again. They're like, oh, mask mandates on the bus again. I'm like, what? They're like, until March. I'm like, how can you know that? How? That's just, you're just arbitrarily until March. Arbitrarily, just until March. But really? I mean, I don't know. I think something wild will happen down here. Like, I don't know what New Orleans would do if they somehow cancel Mardi Gras again. Like, do you know how much money this city lost over this whole shit show, this escapade? I believe it was something like $200 million a week. Something absurd like that, like $200 million a week. Maybe it was per month, but however you want to look at it, $200 million a week, a month, whatever. That's still a lot. I'm not good at math, but I think I could do 20 times 200 and figure out that's quite a bit of money. And that's just monetarily. I'm not talking about what that's done to, relations, people's jobs, so the relations within jobs and where people are living, family members, all of that. I mean, it's kind of silly. Can only imagine. And I mean, I don't know, because I don't know. For me, it's living here. It's a very stark reality. The things that are open and how to get in places, and how many businesses are closed. Where I don't know that smaller towns and smaller cities have the same kind of juxtaposition. But on the large macro scale of this world, I mean, when does this charade end? And again, my earlier point was saying that the people that need to understand this as a charade are the ones that'll be the least capable of understanding it. It's encompassed in you can't make a man know something when his paycheck relies on him not knowing. There's too many people within these corporations that I think they get wind of there's something not right here, but they're not gonna give up their cushy job, and they can already see the economy is tanking, and they can see where else they're gonna get a job. They just give up a $100K a year to go basically be homeless? You think they're gonna do that? They have to go along with it. I mean, there's ways to not, but it's a mess of complications for too many people. Well, everybody's just gotta. Well, Yeah, just because I stopped doing it doesn't mean everybody else is. So what does it accomplish? Shit. You know, everybody's always online saying, "Hey, hold the line, hold the line." Here, hold my balls. What does it even mean? Hold the line on what? What kind of corny, dumb shit is that? Like some cheerleading thing? What line? What thing? You know, and then I'm reading on somebody else's page. They're like, they post something that is almost certainly fake, but it might not be. Can't qualify. There was some store or something. They segregated the store if you had been stabbed or unstabbed. So if you're a stab victim or not, and there was like a whole. I don't. It looked. You know, again, any aspect of the media, whatever. Again, it's hard to qualify and its authenticity. So whatever. But the statement beneath it was, when are you gonna say stand up for this? Does it have to come to your door for you to say something that this is not okay? I'm like, we've been saying that. Well, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, nobody thinks this is cool. And there are some people. Well, let them go and participate in that somewhere else. We don't think it's cool. We've been saying so. You know, the cheerleading shit is so corny because ain't nobody doing shit about it. What are you gonna do? What can you do? What literally can you do? The only thing you can do is educate the people that are in the places that are enforcing the bullshit. And one level is business owners, and the other level is government slash policy slash military. And they're very much in cahoots. I mean, at what level of the people in lower level of government, they're not really in on the trick. Higher levels, they know what's going on. What are they gonna do? They're gonna out themselves. Oops, oops! I invested $100 million into these corporations. No insider trading going on here. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Oh well, we don't. We don't care. Like those people care. Those people care. Yeah, they care about their pocketbooks and their shiny, shimmering splendor of shit that they're doing. I don't know. Not one of them can dance, though. I'll tell you that much. they're really, you know what? It's like they're really not having any fun with all of that, and all they are is snarky, smarmy, swindling shysters, and they're just like, they're not, they don't really truly have happiness, and I feel sorry for them. I do, but at the same time, like I'm not gonna while I'm sitting there, getting poisoned and beat up by that snarky, smarmy, just because I feel sorry for them doesn't mean that I don't think they deserve whatever would be coming to them. But everybody's like, oh, they're gonna get what they deserve, karma, karma, karma. Yeah, why don't you tell me a little bit more about that? Because how many, haven't we been saying this for years? Nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. So the only way it happens is if some people inside it, you have to, the institutions from inside have to be decayed. You build new institutions out here, yes. Use those institutions, and those things collapse from the inside. There's no other way to do it. But that's the thing. You can't. How are you going to educate these people that are part of the system? Like, the system is faulty and deranged. Well, what do I do instead? Well, what dare I do then? Do I think you should be able to bench press your partner, or is it not necessary? I think as a standard practice, I think that would be a good. I think that'd be a good thing. I think that would be. There's a correlation between mental and physical health, sure, and strength, and just, I mean, you think, if you, some people are into extra plump and juicy, where I don't think you're gonna be able to do that. You know, sometimes slim likes chunky, and in that case, so be it. But I think Terry, I think yes, I think that it's probably a good thing. You know, from the man to the woman, because the woman shouldn't be able to bench press a man, because then that's because usually we're probably talking like 120, 180. This is what I see. I would say me, and I would say I'm an average. Well, I'm probably taller and a little heavier than average, but I would say five. Okay, let's use 5'10", 170, and 5'4", 120. You don't want a 5'4", 120 chick that can bench 180 pounds. That's not it's not good. I don't think women should be even lifting weights like that. They should be doing. I like the idea of in weightlifting. You know, the things that you do on a regular basis, train towards that, and obviously flexibility, but. Oh yeah, restaurants where the clever can detect seating or standing status. What about midgets? Midgets and dwarves. Well, I think they're running beneath it anyways. Let's hope not. Let's hope that the farts can't cause the. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're down here, you're basically safe. They don't think about that. Yeah. You can't be just 6 feet, right? Because that would be a box. It's gotta be like kind of like a circle, right? Kind of like an you know why it is 6 feet though. If we get esoteric here, because 6 feet is about the standard size of someone's auric field. I mean, it's 5 foot and change, but 6 foot is a good standard measure. So they don't want people to interact on an energetic level in any way. Because you can turn someone on literally being in their field of energy. Can't be having that. That's hilarious. You attempted to, and it was not. No, it was not happening. Ha 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 ha. I mean, there's all Terry. There's also preferences in there. I don't know. Some dudes like taller chicks, bigger chicks. So, you know, it's all over the map there. Yes. I have not attempted to bench press anyone lately. Ugh. My my relationship game is 0. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about it. Like even going out, man. Like I was out last night. I mean, my intention is a little different when I'm out. My intention literally is to have fun, listen to music, and get drunk. Like, it's just what it is. I don't really have the motivation, intention to go score. And also, financially, I'm not even capable of going to those places where I might be able to scoop. And if I'm walking around New Orleans, like I can't. It's a much more difficult task if I'm dolo and there's a group of chicks. It's a harder task to So, I mean, I had a couple of chicks hit on me yesterday. I just didn't do anything about it because I was wearing some fancy pants. But now that you bring up this bench press game, I think now that's motivating me to A, get into shape, and B, go get myself a chick to bench press. Although I have met a chick who is super fly, and she's 41. She's a little black Latina, and she already got a kid old enough out of the house. So she's like, she got style, she got flavor. And every time she sees me, she always says something cutesy to me. I'm like, your friend George? Whoa, your friend George? I was unaware. Yeah, 41. I've usually haven't dated. I've usually, when I was younger, I dated much older, and now that I'm older, I've dated much younger. It's just how it turns out. I've dated probably mostly chicks in their mid 20s. It always works that way. I've hardly ever, through my 30s, I was never meeting chicks in their 30s. They were always married. They're always like, or just looking like, hot piles of trash. Sorry, I'm not turned on by a chick that's 32 that looks like she's 45 and smokes Marlboro Reds. It's just not my thing. What's up, Trotman? What are you doing? Georgie, he's a feminist. George is a feminist. I know he is. Yeah. I hear you, Georgie. I don't know. I'm not sure I could. I don't know if I could do it. If a chick's name was Georgie, I don't know. I would feel so weird. I don't know I've never thought about having a problem with someone's name. I couldn't imagine being like, getting up in there and like, Georgie. It would just feel something's not right there to me. Hey. Oh man. Let's see. What have we got into here? Sex, health, sexual health. We could do sex. Oh yeah, whether or not you can bench press a chick. That's sexual health. Health related things. I'm gonna go do healthy things today and get fresh air and listen to music. That always makes me feel splendid. Georgina. See now, Georgina. I could get that out of my mouth. Georgina. I would have to say it like I'm some creepy Italian though. Georgina. Ugh. Oh, Georgina. I don't know. I would say it like that, but. Well. What to do today? What time are we looking at? 10:30? 10:30? Okay. Sounds okay in a French accent? I'll give it a shot. I don't know if I could do a French accent, really. I'll work on it later. Is she French? Is she a Frenchie? Man. Does anybody else? I don't know. We had the eclipse yesterday, yeah? So we had the moon eclipse 2 weeks ago, and then we had the solar eclipse yesterday in Australia, apparently. See it? Anybody check it out? Was anybody able to see it? Did you see it? Was it yesterday or is it today? Am I wrong on the day? Anybody noticed energetically anything different? Because I went out yesterday, and everybody that I knew was very dead. Like it was a lull to things. I wonder if that had something to do with the eclipse. Ah, will, yeah, because all these planetary alignments and shit. Lots of funky things. Are we in? We're in a couple. There's probably a couple retrogrades going on right now. I remember we were like 2 months ago. There was like 20 retrogrades. I know I'm exaggerating, but there was like 6, right? Okay, be right back. BRB. Well, hello everybody else. Mm-hmm. What is good in the world today? I don't know. I feel like whenever I don't when I stay away from the news media. I mean, I don't watch TV obviously, but even social media and things. And when I distance myself from it, I feel like there's much less for me to talk about on here when I come back, and in that way, I feel a little bit like, man, I need it for social engagement with you guys, and it helps me to keep my brain somewhat active in the sense of, you know, interesting things to talk about. And because if I don't, I just end up, I'm kind of like, I feel like an empty-headed fool. I mean, I don't mind being a fool or empty-headed, but well, see, they talk the volatile energies. It's a yes, there certainly is the larger clock. There certainly is the larger calendar. You know, the whatever that calendar looks like. There certainly is those energies, but then at the same time, like it works in both directions. There's whatever the hell's going on here. Like we can't discount the fact that people are still obsessed with the television, obsessed with what's being said on it, and as I was just talking about a second ago, but they're entrained by it. They don't understand what it is. If you understand what it is, it can be a very, very useful tool, and it is. We could change what the television is doing, and it is a great technology. Anybody's like, "Oh, the TV's evil. Throw it out." I'm like, "You're an idiot. Throw your knives out. Throw your tire away. Stop using flames." I mean, I just know people's because things have been misused. They have a misunderstanding of what they could be. So, but as I'm saying, there's too many people obsessed with the television as if it's some sort of archon, some sort of god to them. They just look at it and go, "Oh, of course, that's the real. That's the real on there." I mean, they really think that there is some semblance of reality to that. And the more and more that you study it, you realize it's not even close. It's quite literally nothing more than smoke, mirrors, TV screen, like it's movie sets. This is not man on the street. This is happening right now. No, they could have something that's happening right now, but it's a Joe Blow who they said, "Hey, come run down the street at 2, this is when you're on, and come down here." And, "Oh, yeah, I really like the weather." And those, it's all paid. That's all acted. Like none of it is some real time, real shit. The smallest amount is. But people think that it all is. Now, getting back to what it could be, there's plenty of art and education that we could be using it for. It's just a portal to provide information, much as anything else is. It can be used for good, but we have found a way to just make it solely for the purpose of commerce and dare I say, capitalistic ventures. I mean, we really have to, as a species, perhaps reconsider what we see as. And I put it out there 1,000 times how it would fix so many things. I still, it would just be adjusting capitalism by a few things that would change the whole scope of how everything works. And I'll say it one more time. You have to get rid of for-profit companies. Every company has to be not-for-profit or non-profits. Everyone's salaries, like, you got to know. We have to know what the cost of the supply is that they're getting, and what the what's being sold for. And so the profit margin on, look, I'm going to show you how it works. Once that becomes public knowledge, what kind of idiot pays $10,000 for a diamond ring for their wife? No one does, because they know how plentiful diamonds are and how worthless they actually are. Diamonds are quite worthless. To know that you've got a shiny fucking rock that you mortgaged your life, your mortgage, your gauge of your mortality, for some woman that's going to cheat on you anyways. Ha, you fool! Hey, but you got taught that. The things that we pay a lot of money for now, that wouldn't happen anymore. Everybody would make enough because everything would be cheaper, and everybody would be making way more than enough there's enough things. Well, I don't see what people don't get about this. There doesn't need to be billionaires. There's no reason for it, and there's no reason for people to be in the streets. We could fix that even in a capitalist society by getting rid of the absurd amount of for-profit companies and having. We'd have to adjust some things on how stocks and bonds work, but the primary thing is having the cost of things get to what it should be, and stop having these obscene profit margins, because it's just idiotic. Why should someone be getting paid 10 times the amount for something? It's supply and demand. Stop faking the funk, because that's what you were taught. There's way more to it. There's so much abundance in the world, and it's just a matter of how to trade commodities for their value, for true value, not for some made up artificial marketed value. Now, what TV changes? How does television change? So you just have to let somebody know something exists. You don't have to make it all fucking sell somebody at it. All of the TV shows that you're watching, they become more entertaining, and they're not just sitting there as a propaganda pieces that are pushing a narrative to get people to purchase something or to be fearful. That goes away. Television changes; it becomes more educational. There's so many things that are simple fixes, but you'd have to convince the people that have the most to go, well, keep what you got, but let's adjust the economy so, I don't know, everybody could be happy. Nah, I don't like that sounds like communism. It sounds like socialism. That's evil. Yeah. But yeah, getting back into the energies of the planets. I know this is kind of all over the place, but it's not. There are planets that control what you'd call economies and finances and things, and there's energies out there. In one way, do we control what's happening out there? Can we adjust where the stars are in the sky? Perhaps. But are those affecting us? Yes, it's a two-way street, I think. So we can adjust and affect and play with energies if we know what's coming into our field. And it seems like some people are using whatever planetary energies. I mean, let me redact that. It doesn't seem like, I know that people in high levels of society making the most money, they're dealing with occult. Not really. It's not really hidden to them. It's not occulted from them. It's occulted from you because you refuse to study it because you think it's evil. But they're definitely using astrology. Everybody else laughs at it. They made you laugh at it, and they're laughing at you because they're using it to make billions of dollars and to run lives and companies and what do you think they're doing? Warren Buffett, was it Warren Buffett that said it? He says look at millionaires. Millionaires don't use astrology. That's insane. Billionaires do. You're going to take one of the richest men ever to understand, and he's telling you straight up that billionaires use astrology. So if he's saying that and billionaires use astrology, then how dumb does everyone have to feel when they go, "Oh, astrology, that's so stupid," and not thinking it has no effect whatsoever on your life? Is as silly as saying, "Well, you think the sun isn't affecting your life?" The sun most certainly affects everyone's lives, and they'll admit to this. But then you're telling me the other things don't? You sure? You sure that's not really having any impact? Just because it's not a primary source of light and radiant heat and thing, just because the sun is the most powerful prime locator, those other things aren't, they're not influencing anyway? No? It's, what's up, Divine? Yeah. Sneakers cost 10 and 130. See, I mean, the marketing and everything that goes in the profit. I mean, why shouldn't they be? Do you remember there was a store that made actually a for-profit, made a lot of money? It was called Rick and Berries, I think it was called. And who was it? Stefan Marbury, and not that it matters. It was a bunch of people. Sarah Jessica Parker, a bunch of people. They basically just made everything. They didn't market the store. There was no marketing. They branded their things, so it was Sarah's line or Starberry's line or whatever, but they didn't market it. They didn't spend any money. They just said, we'll save the cost on that and give it to you. So they're still making a profit. You're still buying a jacket. Instead of buying a jacket for $100, you're buying a jacket for $40. Same jacket. But they didn't spend all that money marketing their company. You never see a commercial for it. Maybe rarely they'd have something, hey, come down, I did it for a super sale or something. They were spending nickels compared to dollars on marketing. Get rid of that. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't everyone's life is improved by doing that? Yep, $10. Yeah, 10 for 130. I mean, it sucks because even though I've understood all this, I hate to get myself involved in that kind of business model. I'm supposed to be working with somebody doing something, and I'm just I find it a little difficult to justify big profit margins. I mean, it's I'm just Jesus Christ, that's really what people are gonna pay for this. Maybe it's because living in that mindset of what I'm just living that mindset of what is something really worth, because that's what I would want it for, and then I feel like an asshole selling somebody for something I wouldn't pay that. Other people would. If we reset everything right now, if we did a hard reset on everything, and keep what you have, here's how the reset works. Hear me out. This is an interesting one. Everybody that empty houses, we fill up with anybody that doesn't have a house. If you got a place, it's yours. You want to go somewhere else and empty house it, take it. Vehicles, whatever. It's yours. Everything goes to zero. Everything is owned. It's yours. The car, whatever. And start the economy over from there. And all of the businesses. I mean, just getting rid of television alone, you wouldn't be able to people would have to, they'd have to interact. I'm just spitballing something funny here, but if you got rid of if they shut the television off and internet, whatever, people would have to interact with each other to figure out where are they getting food from, if they, where hey, I don't know, where are they selling certain products right now? Maybe you don't know. Yeah. You'd have to go out and you'd have to have adventures. Yeah, they're not going to do that. But just just get rid of all debt, all of that garbage, because all the debt is fake anyways. I mean, I've talked about this before, and I think that's what they're doing anyways. But they're doing a soft reset, and I think that they're doing. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it seems I would like to see the hard reset. Just go, okay, tomorrow everybody's debt is cleared. Everything, we're starting from scratch. It'll take a little bit to implement for everybody to get their new menus up and their new understanding what costs are going to be in the following months and how these are all going to be adjusted. But I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're just doing a slow reset, which is kind of troubling for a lot of people. I mean, think of everything that people buy and how absurd the markup is on some of the simplest things. The profit margin, just get rid of it. It would even out so many things. It would fix so many things in culture. True value. Speaking of True Value, a couple True Value hardware stores just went out of business, like the local ones. So disappointing. They got a Home Depot and shit. Oh, I fucking hate. What if you just need something right there? They got everything you need. It's right there. It's a tiny little store. The people are cool. You go to fucking Home Depot, you're like lost for an hour and a half. Like IKEAs and Home Depots and like the store, the one everything store. When's that? Does that exist somewhere? It's got to. Like you walk into the store and it's the everything store. You could buy furniture, potato chips, all-weather tires. You can get, you know what I mean? Like the everything store. Like an IKEA store that has a Home Depot / department / restaurant in there. That's got to exist. I mean, it's like the mall, but compressed. And fuck the mall, too. The mall, you always feel like you get mauled when you go there, huh? Well. I'm counting on the reset. I don't know about the rest of y'all, because the way things are, I can't exist in this. I don't exist anywhere in this world. Really, truthfully, I can't imagine participating in this whatever people are calling this. This is so insane. I'm a weird person. I think I only say that jokingly because I'm really not that weird. I sound insane to other people because it's logical. It makes sense. It sounds crazy to other people, right? But I can't imagine living in a furthering of this dystopian, bullshit. It's too corny. It's not even a B movie funny. It's not funny. It's not scary per se. It's not funny. It's not dramatic. It's dramatic for some people. It's just dramatic for no reason. It's like, hey, here's a movie that's based 100% on lies. I think I'll skip that. I'm good. Peace out, y'all. Enjoy that. I think I've got to paint my fingernails. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to paint my fingernails and do some heroin. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, Divine. They hate the truth because they've been so like trained to just love bullshit. Just love the lie. Love it. Gotta love it. I think one of the major reasons is people they'd have to adjust the way their entire life is scheduled. What their priorities are. They'd have to reprioritize their entire life. They would everything they thought of how shit works, they'd have to adjust. I mean, think about the things that we know. Things that we've held as truths. that we know, that we've come to observe, that are false. And once a couple of these things become false, then by proxy, most everything else that we've been told is false, thereby destroying people's, like, really destroying their reality. It would be like somebody that doesn't know anything about psychedelics and just giving them a heroic dose of mushrooms and say, hey, just go run around society. They wouldn't be able to handle it. They would go insane. So people have to be slow dripped this thing of what's going on, because if you give it all to them at once, it just will start. Well, if the shape of the earth isn't what we are told, and they bullshitted on that level of a magnitude, then the other thing isn't true either. And then who else was? Oh, that's not true, which makes that and that not true. And they would have to, you actually have to start pulling pieces out, and you'd be like, by the end of it, there's nothing left. There's nothing that you've known. There's not. Every time we start doing this, and we go on a line of what have we been told and what isn't true about that, it's more and more. I used to think it was about 80%. Then I got up to like 90. Then I was like, oh, it's about 95. Now I'm like about 98, 99%. There's something here that's truth. You know, like a car gets me from point A to point B. That's truth. This couch, this chair is comfortable and I'm sitting in it. That's true. That I can say is a fact. That's true, whatever you want to call it. However, everything else that's surrounding us, the pieces of information that we've been presented, and a lot of even the insight in the science of why something occurs, it's not complete. Like those are the most troubling ones. When we, oh no, it's established science. Like, no. And there's people like, how much science was established and then was re-questioned, and like, oops, got that wrong. It happens all the time. But yet, whenever people are sitting there just basking in their religious, dogmatic scientism, whether it's religion or scientism, it's the same thing. Their dogma just holds them there, and they're like, there's no escaping that. They just like, no, that's, but it has to be that way. That's what they said it was. You could show them how it does. Like here's the current thing that I can't stand having this conversation. This is with highly intelligent people that want to believe something, and I'm like, I agree with you. So here's the premise: is that we can turn water into hydrogen and oxygen, and we can have a car that's powered on water. No, you can't. And I'm saying you're not taking the entirety of the premise of how you're going through the experiment that then turns into what you see as hydrogen and your oxygen hydrogen car. You're not understanding what's occurring here, because you forget that there's salt and there's two plates in the water. You're forgetting that. How do you just leave? You can't leave that out of the experiment. Is the energy free? Sure, but it's not the water that's being split. You're not splitting water. You can't take hydrogen and oxygen and put them together. Go look it up. You can't. Try to do it. Show it to me. You can't do it. And so whenever they see this thing that's happening, I'm like, yeah, but that's not water doing that. Just break the water for me. Well, I need this, and this. But then you've added variables that you then neglect afterwards. And I'm telling you, it's the decaying, the deionization of the metals that you're seeing, not the water. And these are people that they're on a flat earth, and they understand. But I'm just like, and they're like, no, the water. I'm like, that is the primary base thing that you were fooled on. Water is a single element unto itself. I can't say it enough. So do me the solid. Do me the experiment where you take hydrogen and oxygen and you jam them together and let me drink that. And I'm going to guarantee you 100% you can't do it. And no one ever has, and no one ever will. And I can guarantee you cannot take water and pull it apart and show me hydrogen and oxygen. What you're going to need is other things that are going to be involved in that experiment, which then take away from the water. Nobody's looking at the salt and the two metal objects as if they don't exist in the experiment. I just it's befuddling. Now, is energy coming out of that vehicle? Yes. Is that a better thing than what we're working with? Absolutely. I'm all for it, but just don't claim it to be something it isn't. Because we've been, as per usual, the whole, like, everything we've been given is so faulty. Yeah, we went to the moon, 268,000 miles away, and they made a phone call immediately. Right. How people still believe we went to the moon. That's how dumb people are. That's how dumb. That's how they refuse to do any research. They refuse to have that part of their reality. You go now. As soon as you go, we didn't go to the moon. What else? What else are they bullshitting on? Why would they fake that? Because that's gonna take a lot to deal with for a lot of people. Thank you, Terry. Yeah, it will. PayPal.me / capital TSAR capital XEN. That should go right to my shit, dude. I appreciate it. What's up, traveler? Being a piece of shit and stupid, but a bit intelligent is immensely rewarded in the bullshit world. Yeah, it is. The more layers of bullshit that you layer onto something, people love it. They love it. They love to be caked in shit. People that really go extra, they're very dramatic with the, they're people that feign towards being concerned about everything. It's these people that they it's the virtue signaling. It's so fucking gay. Yeah, I'm glad. Don't let anybody know I said that, because that could get out of hand. I mean mentally retarded or mentally gay. I don't know. Something's wrong with that. The virtue signaling is just so peacocking, but it will get you somewhere. People love that shit. You go on to people get onto the Instagram pages and whatever, like somebody dies that's famous. Oh, R.I.P. Oh, bless up, prayers up, dude. Like, I really cried today. You don't even know this motherfucker. Oh, they did so much for my life. No, they didn't. They they threw a ball in a net. Who cares? You can't possibly tell me that, like, that. All these people are like, oh, bless up. Not to mention they probably didn't even die, but that's a whole nother story. It's just like, shut the fuck up. You never feel that way? Just like, shut the fuck up. You don't really feel that way. You don't think that. You don't feel that. You're just saying that, and it's so shitty. And then I say that, and I'm the asshole for calling them out on it, right? Hey, start a band, pretend to be gay for 2 months, and you'd be famous. Yeah, you can do that. Buongiorno. What's up, Stan? Stan, the man who is the Canadian. Do that in your best, Eminem. Stan, the man who's Canadian. Oh yeah, they went 6 times. Oh, and don't forget. I mean, we got other countries that have been going up there too, fiddling around on the moon. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you're born into something like that, and somebody's like, "Hey, just go along with this. We make billions." Like, what do we make billions in? Oh, just telling people. They just go. People are stupid. You'll grow up to realize people are dumb as fuck. So how do you make money? Well, we just tell them we went to the moon. That's all. We'll just tell them far-fetched stories. Now, I love stories. I love far-fetched, insane, crazy stories. I do. But I like going into a movie theater knowing it's a story. I applaud that. And if it's so well acted out and played, if you're emotional, that's great. And I like hearing stories, all, people telling their whatever stories. Great. But when it's propagated to the masses as if it's true, that's where I think we should have a talk. You know, because it's basically liar, liar, pants on fire. How many times over the course of humanity, like the whole thing, have we not been presented with time and time again that these media devices, these governments, these corporations, that's all they do. And nobody's just waking up and smelling the bullshit. I don't get it. I know, right? Yeah, satellites and the moon shit. I mean, the moon to me, the moon thing to me is so. It doesn't take much to figure out we didn't go there. It'd take a little more to realize it's not a physical object. Although it's pretty easy to see now. You can see through it. I mean, there's too many. Here, just take this P9000. Look at the fucking thing. You can see through it. It's not a solid. You think that's a solid object is really weird. To think that it just magically is the same exact size as the sun and at two different distances, and the sun. And I mean, to think that the sun is 93 million miles away, and somehow its heat, it goes through cold space. Space is cold, right? Goes through cold space and then finally hits Earth 93 million miles away to make this planet suitable. But then they have all these theories on all the other planets, how cold or hot they might be. And except I'm looking at them in the sky and they looking at them with the different cameras and it doesn't look anything like what we've been told there. Crazy, right? Nope. The moon thing, I don't. How do these kids growing up these days? How do the teachers these days? It's same cycling of stupid. And that nobody, like, even things that have been verified as almost across the board, that we just go, we can obviously plainly see that putting a poison such as fluoride and drinking it, the fact that we have to handle it with plastic, it's a poison, it's a, burn through metal. I mean, let's go ahead and put that in the water because it's good for you. I had to have that conversation with somebody. I'm like, you literally don't have a brain. Like, you literally don't have a brain. Like, it worked. It worked. It got into your brain and ate away whatever is in there. You don't have any left. Sorry to break it to you, but you're brainless. I know, right? Starting there with you think we went to the moon 50 years ago. You know the technology we're working with. Do you remember even 30 years ago? Okay, so now go back to 50 years ago. I'm not even 50. What kind of technology was that? You're telling me that technology? All the shit, the telemetry, the data's the thing, the bill. Oh, that's how they did it. Then you got to really fuck with people. How did they, the phone call? How did they make that? And didn't they film that? Wasn't there a thing to film the moon landing and the moon and the rocket taking off? How did they get that camera? How did they send that footage? And how did they get this camera there? It's a little confusing. Or if they left and they were taking a picture when it left, how did they get the camera? They left. It's still sitting there. It's just sitting there. Just chilling. That's Aaron, yeah. It's closer in the closer in the winter. It's closer in the winter. Yeah. Oh, it makes sense to them though. Because if they're gonna, the way the lies work is the bigger the lie, the easier it is for people to swallow. Because people go, you can't make that up. Actually, you can, and they did. Oh yeah, it's when yeah, because there. See what I know. There's this outer space. I'm not a flat earther who goes there's no outer space. I certainly know there is outer space. There is the space out there, but I don't know what is out there, so I don't claim to know. And so anytime anyone talks about it, like, how do you know? You haven't been there. You don't show me. You know what a black hole looks like? You don't. You know what these planets look like? No, you don't. You don't know what anything out there looks like. You're making it up. Yeah, because Kepler, Johann Kepler, in 17, somebody had a telescope in the 1700s. We couldn't even. We were on horse, mules, and carts and buggies, and we couldn't even. You're living in cabins and yurts and shit. In the early 1900s, you know what I mean? We're just starting to build shit. Oh wait, well I forgot we're building giant buildings where a lot of confusion going on there. But we are making telescopes so fantastic we could see hundreds of millions of miles away and see all sorts of different galaxies and shit. I hope you. Ugh. I have to look at these other people and go, these are my brothers and sisters. These are my family. These are other versions of me. I'm this stupid. Damn. How would I teach myself? I don't fucking know. There's a really low star satellite orbit shuts off in the sky every night. You know, however those things are projected onto the, like where they are, whether they're outside and they're refracting light through the waters and there is a light behind it or something, or it's actually a dome and we have something in the middle of it's producing boom boom. Who knows? I really don't know. It could be that way too. It could be coming from the center of our realm, and there could be like a literal fucking thing. You know, you ever been in one of those solariums? What do they call them? Solariums. You know, they do all the space things at the science museums or whatever, where you can see all the stars and shit. It could be literally that. How would we, you know? And there could be water in front of it, and so they could be pulsing it out there, and that's what we're looking at. How the fuck would we know? We couldn't. It's hard to verify some of this shit. Yeah, that's cool. Hey Terry, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I just had to change the email, so it's fine. So it shows up as. Yeah. If you didn't know what it's, yeah, it's like seeing something again for the first time with a child's eyes, that kind of way. Be curious about nature. Yeah. Like it's kind of like when you take a, you know, when you get high, man, or you take a nice dose of something, and you go out and you interact with it differently. You look at it different, because your mind observes it different. I mean, that is literally, life is a good deal perception. Most of what we deal with is perception. There is some fundamental something, the ooey gooey etheric backdrop to reality. There is some sort of something that's here because it's sitting here. But you know, the general thing is our brains are how we allow for our brains to observe, and how we perceive what we're observing is extremely important. You ever see people that are so amazed by butterflies and trees and shit, and then other people are like, it's a fucking tree. It's a fucking tree. It's as I've always said, I think that what makes interesting people is people that are interested. If you're interesting, people are interested in things, so they end up very curious and knowing a lot about things. Sometimes they're obsessively so. Very funny, because I had two people I was hanging out with last night. I was unaware of how OCD they were. They're both musicians, very good musicians, and I was helping one of them put his chords away, and he kind of like kind of nervous Nancy about it, and he was like, and he kind of laughs, because he was like, you know, the roadie, blah blah blah. He taught me, or this guy I used to tour with or whatever. He's like he taught me to always rap chords this way, and it just stuck with me. And I was like, oh, you got a little OCD. He's like, yeah. I was like, oh man, you should just show me how to, you know, wind it up, you know. And then the next musician, same thing. I was like, hey, I would help you. I'd help you set shit up, but I'm sure you got like your order to things. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty OCD about it. I started fucking laughing. And I guess to be a musician, you have to have a certain amount of curiosity, which turns into OCD. I mean, how to play a, you know, a rhythm, to just sit there and play on that same thing, the timing. You got to get into that's very obsessive compulsive. I think that's probably why I can't play. I mean, I could end up playing instruments, but I'm not engaged enough. I'm interested in music, but not playing it, because I can't get that OCD mode. I don't have it. A planetarium is the word, yes. Fucking wicked, man. Thank you, Terry. I have seen what you are doing. Leo does. Thank you, man. That is going to go towards. I think I might get stoned today. You have see, funny enough, I play with, you know, producing music, and I am not that. The only time I might be OCD-ish is if I'm cooking in the kitchen, but in that way, normally I just need people to get the fuck out of my way, because if you don't have a process and don't know what you're doing, just stop. You're not helping. I don't mind having sous chefs and prep people can prep, but as a general rule, it just kind of gets in the way. But yeah, some musicians I know, I noticed drummers are usually the most sociable. People that play other instruments, they can be somewhat awkward people. Yeah, thank you, Terry. That's going towards some meat, potatoes, and weed, and a beer. Yeah. It's yes, Dan. Curiosity and OCD. Okay, it can turn that way. In the OCD, if you use it effectively, is very healthy and helpful. But sometimes people do actually get, you know, into what would be the obsessive. That's the difference between turning a light on and off 50 times. You know what I mean? That's some neurotic OCD behavior that has a lot of trauma based to it, and why you think that needs to be done, versus something, you know, that is, I'm so intimately involved and curious about something, I want to know how this works, and I'm going to obsess over it. Really going to find out. Going to see how. That's great if you're modeling something, if you're working with like clay. I could see you know, painting something, but some people become painfully awkward. Oh yeah. What time is it? It's like 11. I think I'm gonna have to do a duty here pretty soon. I'm gonna have to do my duties. But I might be able to do some filming today, depending on who's out. It's a really good band called the New Thousand, and the dude plays the violin, electric violin, but he doesn't play it so normally, and it's pretty badass. I highly suggest looking him up. New Thousand. Yeah, and I think he's gonna be out today, which is a lot of fun to watch. I filmed a little yesterday. I suppose I could put it up. The only place you can get beer is at Walgreens. See, that's why I love this city. You could get beer. You could just knock on someone's door and they'll hand you beer. Like literally, if a place doesn't sell beer, you're like, what the fuck? Even coffee shops, probably. You know, actually, coffee shops do sell beer. Not all of them, but. Ooh. You said your ex's cat ruined about 500 of them? Whoa. What are you talking about? Do it. Oh, taking a dump or getting high and eating a steak? That's crazy. The whole DMV is a whole fucking thing, man. The DMV is I think made to just drain the life out of people. It just sucks the life out of you. Department of Motor Vehicles. You know, is that funny how it's like an association between like once you have a driver's license, like how do you not have a driver's license? Like it's like that's a rite of passage or something. I know plenty of people that well actually I can't say I know plenty of, but I've known some people that they lived in cities that they didn't need one. They took the bus. They never required. You know, if there's a certain place you live between cabs, you know, the bus, the train, it's pointless to have a car. Shit, I mean, a lot. I would assume there's probably a big percentage of people that live in New York City that don't have licenses. Oh shit, Stan. Well, then you might as well just start growing them yourself, man. Get some spores. I mean, what else? What else are you gonna do? You guys can't. You guys aren't even allowed to move. You guys gotta sit in your houses now. Might as well do a bunch of mushrooms. Hey, well, check it out, y'all. I probably will. Hey, I probably will come back on here a little later, but I do have the coffee has run its course and is beckoning me to make it to the toilet. So yeah, thanks for showing up. As per usual, you are allowed to donate to me if you want. CashApp, PayPal, Venmo, it's beneath, and that's TsarXen. That's me. Be weird. Be yourself, because everyone is already taken. Help out others when you can, and always take care of yourself. And I'm going to go take care of myself by taking a big, fat, healthy dump. It's good to see everybody. We will chat soon. Toodles. Also, Terry, thank you. Fuck yeah.